Okay, I guess you guys have all heard about ICE. Okay, I know they have a recipe, which to me shouldn't be because, you know, they're human beings and they're not exactly just going after non Americans. They're going after anybody that looks Latino, that gets supposedly in their way. Um, Anybody that says anything to them, they right away think they have to investigate them. They're not cops, okay? That's one thing. If they were, they would have been trained to be able to handle any situation that has to do with one, a protester, or two, just a citizen trying to get by, which is what she was trying to do. And if you think that that video was not tampered with, you're wrong. It was tampered with. That's why they don't want to be the ones to be accused of murdering somebody. Well, when you shoot somebody 3 times, bap bap bap, in the face, the first one should have done the trick. If that's what he's trying to do, was kill her. She was not aiming her car at him because she was shot from the side. I don't know how that's aiming a car, but you think they would have shot through the front window? Yeah, you tell me if that was, you know, it wasn't. And for those of you who are saying she abused the kids, you have no proof of that. I don't care what you're saying on that one, because there's no proof. Because her first husband, that is still alive, that has custody of 2 of those kids, spoke very nicely about her, that she was not that kind of a person. The third child, which she had just dropped off at school, by the way, was on her way home from dropping him off. She has custody of that kid, so if she was abusive, they would have took that kid too. Sorry, y'all are wrong on that one. Okay, there is better ways to deal with people that don't like that organization popping in. They do not have to shoot to kill people just because they're not supposedly listening to them. Okay, she was a human being. She was a mother. Okay, and it doesn't matter about her orientation. Okay, whether she was, a lesbian or whatever. That is her private business. Has nothing to do with what happened to her. They had no right to kill her. And that's what that man did. He shot before trying to anything else that he could have done to calm that situation down. No, instead, he called her a effing B. If you look at the thing, listen real careful to it before you say, he was in the right. Because he called her a name before he shot her. And he shot her 3 times. 3 times. Think about that. Now, if that was your loved one, you'd be up in an uproar. So now there's a child that doesn't have his mother in his life, and, a spouse that doesn't have that spouse anymore. A human being was killed. That means that person's not coming back, whether they were protesting or not. Doesn't make a difference. Right is right. And let me tell you, to that ICE officer, God's watching you and saw what you did. And you know what you did was wrong. There's other ways to deal with that. That's all I have to say on that subject. Because, it's just remotely ridiculous to me that that stuff even, happened. You know, their job was to detain and make sure the person was legally here. Their job was not to kill. They are not policemen. A policeman would have known how to deal with it a little bit better. And that car was not aiming for that man. So, and why do they gotta cover themselves up? Are they afraid somebody's gonna recognize them? Think about that. Think if it was yours. Think if it was your mother, or your aunt, or your sister, or your wife. Would you want that to happen? Just because they were trying to get home? And supposedly blocking the street when she wasn't? She tried to move the car out of the way to get on home. So, I don't care what you guys that are for the this regime. To me, they're just Gestapo because they shoot before they do what they're supposed to do. There's rules that they had to follow, and they didn't follow it. And President Trump, you're bullshit for not standing up for somebody that was actually a citizen and finding out the whole story. You expect people to respect you and to want you in office? Well, then do the right thing. When you have to say something more intelligent. That, you are not supposed to be favoring someone for somebody else, you know. And do remember your mother was an immigrant. She came over from United Kingdom, okay? Sure, she probably made herself, you know, a citizen. Make it easier for the people that want to be citizens to become citizens. The ones that are working their butts off day by day, paying taxes, you know, paying their bills, other than being immigrants and being here illegally, supposedly, according to you, you know. Let them have an easier way to become citizens because that's the ones that want to be here and want to be citizens, you know. Yeah, background check, you need a background check too. But just remember this country is full of descendants of immigrants. Everybody that isn't from, the Native American people. Yeah, they traveled here too from wherever, but you know what? They were here for more than 2,000 years before anybody white set foot. That is